Mosasaurus. People see the movie and assume it's exaggerated. It isn't. The real Mosasaurus reached up to 17 meters in length, weighed around 10,000 kilograms, and dominated the shallow inland seas covering modern North America 66 million years ago. It wasn't a dinosaur, it was a marine lizard, more closely related to monitor lizards and snakes than to anything people typically imagine. The skull alone measured over a meter long and contained 2 rows of teeth on the upper jaw. Not 1 row, 2. The second row sat on the palate, angled inward, specifically designed to prevent prey from backing out once it entered the mouth. It hunted other mosasaurs, large sharks, and anything else sharing its water. There was no shallow refuge, no surface escape. It owned the entire water column from seafloor to surface. A human in that ocean wasn't a predator encounter, it was a feeding opportunity that would have lasted seconds. Titanoboa. The largest snake ever discovered lived 58 million years ago in what is now Colombia, and nothing alive today comes close. Titanoboa cerahonensis reached 13 meters in length and weighed over 1,100 kilograms. At its thickest point, its body was roughly the diameter of a full-grown human's waist. It killed exactly the way modern constrictors do, coiling around prey and tightening with every exhale until cardiac arrest. The difference is scale. The reticulated python, the largest snake alive today, maxes out near 7 meters. Titanoboa was nearly twice that and many times the mass. Scientists estimate its constriction force was sufficient to crush the rib cage of a crocodilian. It lived in tropical swamp systems, rivers, and dense forest floors throughout what is now South America. It didn't chase. It waited, partially submerged, completely still, until something warm-blooded moved within range. Then, it moved. You wouldn't have registered it as a threat until it already had you pinned to the ground. Deinosuchus. Modern saltwater crocodiles already kill hundreds of people every year. Deinosuchus was a saltwater crocodile rebuilt at a scale that eliminates any comparison. It lived between 75 and 82 million years ago across North America and reached lengths of up to 10 meters, with a skull measuring over 1.8 meters from snout to skull base. Bite force estimates exceed 100,000 newtons. The strongest bite ever recorded on a living animal is the saltwater crocodile at 16,000 newtons. Deinosuchus generated more than 6 times that figure, concentrated through the same ambush hunting method modern crocodiles still use today. Fossil evidence confirms it wasn't scavenging large dinosaurs. Bite marks on hadrosaur bones show attack patterns consistent with ambush from water on animals approaching to drink. The same riverbank, the same method. Just a predator large enough that the size of prey approaching the water made no practical difference to the outcome. Sarcosuchus. In North Africa, 112 million years ago, a different crocodilian was running the same system. Sarcosuchus imperator, known as supercroc, reached 9 to 11 meters in length and weighed an estimated 8,000 kilograms. The skull alone measured 1.6 meters. It had a distinctive bulbous growth at the tip of its upper jaw called a bulla, the exact function of which remains debated among paleontologists. Leading hypotheses suggested enhanced olfactory capability or amplified vocalizations used for communication and territory. Either function made it a more effective ambush predator in the river systems it controlled. Fossil evidence shows it coexisted with early dinosaurs and massive prehistoric fish, both of which appear in the context of Sarcosuchus territory. The ecological choke points it exploited, river crossings, drinking sites, narrow channels, are identical to those modern crocodilians use today. The predator didn't need speed. The landscape delivered everything it needed directly to the water's edge. Livyatan. 12 to 13 million years ago, something was actively hunting sperm whales. Livyatan melvillei was a physeteroid whale related to modern sperm whales, reaching estimated lengths of 13 to 17 meters. What separated it from every cetacean alive today was dentition. Modern sperm whales carry functional teeth only on the lower jaw, used primarily to grip deep-sea squid. Livyatan had massive interlocking teeth on both jaws, the largest individual teeth measuring 36 centimeters in length, placing them among the biggest teeth ever recorded in any animal in the fossil record. It was an active macro predator targeting other large whales. Fossil evidence from Peru's Pisco Formation places Livyatan teeth in direct association with the remains of baleen whales it is believed to have killed. This was not a filter feeder. It was a whale that hunted whales for the same reason lions hunt wildebeest. A human being in that ocean would have been too small to register as meaningful prey, which is a strange kind of cold comfort. Dunkleosteus. Most prehistoric predators look at least partially familiar. Dunkleosteus terrelli does not. It lived between 360 and 380 million years ago, reached lengths of 8 to 9 meters, and belonged to an armored fish group called placoderms, with no surviving relatives and no living equivalent. Instead of teeth, it had two interlocking bony blades that self-sharpened against each other with every bite cycle, functioning as biological shears. Bite force estimates reach up to 7,400 newtons concentrated along a cutting edge, rather than distributed across rounded tooth surfaces, making the mechanical damage per strike significantly higher than comparable force through conventional teeth. It could open its jaw fully in approximately 20 milliseconds, generating suction that pulled prey into its mouth faster than evasion was physically possible. It held apex predator status in the late Devonian seas for 20 million years. No prey species in its environment evolved a consistent escape response in that entire time frame. 20 million years without a natural check is not dominance. It's something closer to permanence. Arthropleura. This one wasn't hunting you. That is somehow not reassuring. Arthropleura was a myriapod related to modern millipedes that lived approximately 300 million years ago across what is now North America and Europe. It reached confirmed lengths of 2.6 meters, with some fossil evidence suggesting individuals may have exceeded that. It is the largest land invertebrate ever documented in the fossil record. Current analysis of its gut contents indicates it was herbivorous or detritivorous, consuming plant material and decaying organic matter rather than prey. Its size was made possible by atmospheric oxygen levels significantly higher than today, which allowed the passive diffusion-based respiratory systems of invertebrates to sustain body masses otherwise impossible for that body plan. Fossilized trackways confirm the scale and gait. It had no natural predators in its ecosystem. 2.5 meters of armored, segmented invertebrate moving through carboniferous forest, encountering nothing it needed to avoid, concerned with nothing around it. The discomfort it triggers isn't about danger, it's about scale. Something built like that should not reach that size. For tens of millions of years, it did. Haast's eagle. New Zealand had no terrestrial predators for millions of years. The birds that evolved there had no learned behavioral response to anything attacking from above at speed. Haast's eagle, Hyraeatus morii, was the apex predator of that ecosystem and the largest eagle confirmed in the fossil record. Females reached 15 kilograms in body mass with wingspans up to 3 meters. The talons were structurally comparable in diameter to modern tiger claws. It hunted moa, flightless birds reaching 200 kilograms, by striking from elevation at high speed and driving talons simultaneously into the pelvis and skull to prevent any movement after contact. Forensic analysis of moa skeletal remains confirms this exact attack pattern through impact marks and fracture geometry. Maori oral tradition describes a giant bird capable of taking human prey, and archaeological context places Haast's eagle remains near early human settlements on the islands. It went extinct around 1400 CE, within a few decades of significant Polynesian settlement. The largest eagle that ever lived encountered humans for the first time and disappeared within a single human lifetime. Not because something stronger arrived, because something smarter did. If that left you thinking about which ocean you're least comfortable swimming in, that's the correct response. Subscribe so you don't miss what comes next.